Another thing you might find useful as you're working through this stuff is we also have tests. And so not all of the files have tests, but most of the exercises do have tests, and they can help you work along your way. And so I'm going to show you that you don't have to run the tests if you don't want to, but they can be helpful. So I'm going to open up another terminal here, and I'll run npm run test or npm test or npm t. Actually, all of those will do the same thing. And it starts up just in watch mode. And we'll talk about that in another one of our workshops. But all that you need to know about here is the ability to filter by a file name regex pattern. So let's say that I'm working on exercise 5. So I type 05, and then you can actually use the arrow keys on your keyboard to select a specific one. So if I just use this one, then I can say, okay, I want 05 is the one I want to run. And that will run the test. And it's passing, but that's actually probably not what you want. You want the test to tell you that you haven't finished the exercise yet. And so actually, if you open up the test, you'll notice that the test is importing from final. Let me pop this open a lot bigger. So here we're importing app from final 05. And the reason that it's doing that is because when you cloned and ran the setup script, we wanted to make sure that all of the tests would pass with the final version so that we know that you got everything set up properly. So if you are going to use the tests, then before you work through any of these workshops, you're going to want to disable the final import and enable the exercise import. And that way we're going to import from your file, and that's all that you're going to need to do in the test file. You won't want to change anything else in here unless you're making a pull request, in which case knock yourself out. That's great. So with that in place now, we can take a look at the output, and here's Alfred the alert telling us, hey, one of the boxes is missing the class name box, and it's giving us the output, and it's saying, hey, one of these is missing it, so you should probably add that. And so there will be some helpful errors. Some of the error messages may not be super helpful, and if you want to improve those for a case that you think is pretty common, then more power to you. You'll get added to the README. It'll be awesome. So thank you for all the people who contribute these. But that's basically all that you do. You run npm test or npm t, and you choose the file that you want using the P key on your keyboard. And then you update the test import in here from the final to the exercise, and then you're off to the races. You can start working through things. And now, in addition to being able to just run the app and make sure that things look the same, you can also have the tests running that are giving you constant feedback that, oh, there's some additional stuff that you need to do here. And another thing to keep in mind here is that not all of our files are tested. For example, we can't really reasonably test the HTML files without adding a whole bunch of tooling and things to make it really complicated. So luckily there are only 4 of them, so you don't need to worry about that, hopefully. But yeah, most of our stuff is tested, and in fact, some of our extra credits are also tested. And so here you can go to extra 2, and you'll notice this is importing from final extra 2, and you'll need to switch that to exercise 06. And the reason for that is the extra credit sometimes adds additional features that I can't just test the final version by itself. And so we have special tests for some of those. So that's the tests. Hopefully that's helpful to you, and have a fun time running all these tests.